Hello, adventurers. Ready to dive into a mystery that has plagued humanity for thousands of years? Today we'll uncover the secrets of Atlantis. 1. Where did Atlantis come from? Let's start with the original source. Surprisingly, the entire story of Atlantis is based on just two dialogues by Plato, Timaeus and Critias. Imagine 360 BC. The great philosopher describes an island state larger than Asia and Libya combined. Its inhabitants, half god, half human, rule the seas and live in concentric rings of canals and land. Plato also specifies that the island lies beyond the Pillars of Hercules, meaning beyond the Strait of Gibraltar. And of course, it was a paradise on Earth. Gold, silver, and rare animals, the perfect shots for an ancient Instagram. But then in just one night and one day of disasters, earthquakes, and floods, Atlantis vanished. 2. Myth or reality? Scientists consider the myth of Atlantis to be a literary device by Plato. His works are the only source that mention this island. Some historians, like Professor of Classics James Romm, believe the philosopher invented a perfect civilization to discuss corruption and societal decline. Modern archaeologists, including National Geographic researcher Robert Ballard, state outright that there is no real evidence for the existence of Atlantis. The Titanic hunter Ballard points out that among Nobel Prize winners there isn't a single one who could confirm Plato's story as factual. So searching for a sunken continent is basically like looking for a wardrobe in Narnia. 3. What might have inspired Plato? If Atlantis is fictional, where did the image of the island's destruction come from? The most popular theory points to the volcanic eruption on Santorini, Thera, around 3,600 years ago. The island was home to the highly advanced Minoan civilization, known for its palaces and frescoes. A massive volcanic explosion triggered tsunamis and ashfalls that severely impacted Crete and the Mycenaean world. It's no coincidence that this catastrophe is often seen as a possible prototype of Atlantis. However, chronologically it happened later than Plato claimed. He wrote that the tragedy occurred 9,000 years before his time. So it's only a partial match. There's no concrete evidence that Santorini was Atlantis. Turns out even ancient stories tended to exaggerate timelines, just like your neighbors exaggerate how long their renovations will take. 4. Where are people searching for Atlantis and what theories exist? Here's where it gets really exciting. As soon as Plato mentioned the mysterious island, humanity started a race. Who could find Atlantis first? The Mediterranean, Spain, or the Azores? Explorers and writers have scoured every corner of the globe in search of it. Antarctica and the Bermuda Triangle. Some authors claim Atlantis lies beneath the ice of Antarctica or somewhere in the Bermuda region, but these ideas contradict Plato's original description. A technological supercivilization, fallen UFOs, and energy crystals? Modern myths portray Atlantis as a high-tech society with lasers and spacecraft. The famous clairvoyant Edgar Cayce even claimed the Atlanteans used crystals for power. However, there's no archaeological evidence to support any of this. Documentaries and ancient apocalypse. In 2022, the series Ancient Apocalypse aired, where author Graham Hancock claimed a comet destroyed an ancient civilization, and the survivors spread knowledge across the world. Archaeologists criticize this theory as unproven and dangerous because it erases the achievements of indigenous peoples. As you can see, there are countless variations, but none are backed by facts. Even polar bears would smile if they heard about Atlantis in Antarctica. 5. Why does the myth still live on? The legend of Atlantis captures our imagination because it contains universal elements: a utopia, a catastrophic downfall, and punishment for hubris. As Professor Romm explains, Plato used the story to explore the conflict between the divine and the human, ideal societies, and their moral decline. In later centuries, Europeans tried to explain ancient cities in the Americas and Asia through white sages from Atlantis. Writers and mystics of the 19th and 20th centuries created novels about the sunken continent, attributing all sorts of advanced technologies to the Atlanteans. Modern pop culture keeps the fascination alive. In comics and movies, Atlantis is sometimes a kingdom of superheroes, sometimes a base for aliens. Netflix even produces documentary hits about it. In the end, the myth evolves like a meme, gaining new layers of meaning with each generation. Honestly, Atlantis is like a long-running TV series. A new season brings new fan theories, but the finale is still unknown. 6. The moral of the story and conclusions. So, myth or reality? Science is clear. There's no evidence that Atlantis ever existed. Plato's story serves as a warning of how a utopia can fall due to pride and corruption. Our search for a sunken civilization says more about ourselves. We want to believe in miracles, in lost golden ages, because they give hope and fuel our imagination. But it's important to separate fantasy from history. In the real world, there are plenty of mysteries, from the Minoan civilization to the cultures of Mesopotamia. If you enjoyed the story, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so you don't miss new episodes. Ahead of us are even more ancient mysteries waiting to be uncovered. Atlantis may have sunk, but our curiosity always stays afloat. See you in the next episode.